Welcome back to another episode of Hope for Your Life, where we believe there's always hope, no matter what circumstance you're going through. We're going to talk today about a very important and a critical topic, and that's suicide prevention. Suicide prevention. You know, we all have been affected in some way by suicide. We all know someone who either has committed suicide or knows someone or has a loved one who has committed suicide, but we all have been affected by suicide loss. And there may be people looking at this right now who have had some suicidal thoughts or some level of suicide ideation. So we just want to speak hope to that and talk about how do we prevent that. When we think about our family members, friends, coworkers who may be experiencing that, how can we help prevent that? And I have two special guests with me today. I have Reverend Jules Christian, who is the chaplain for Volunteers of America, both the Chesapeake region and the Carolinas. And I have Tamika Magagula. She is an independently licensed clinician, and she is also the Director of Operations for Volunteers of America in the Virginia region. Welcome to Hope for Your Life. And we're just going to talk a little bit about how do we recognize the signs of suicide? How do we help to prevent that from our loved ones, our family members, and our friends? So I was looking at some of the statistics on suicide, the statistics we've had that CDC has come out with, and it's pretty disturbing. It's the 12th leading cause of death among us in America. But it's the second leading cause of death among people who are 10 to 14. Mm-hmm. These are preteens, and 25 to 34, okay, young adults. Mm-hmm. Third leading cause among people who are 25 to 34. So that's startling, especially when you think about children, this being the second leading cause. And there's an overall 4% increase in suicide deaths from 2020 to 2021. I mean, we don't have the 22 numbers yet compiled, but it seems to be an increasing trend each year. So it's still a huge problem. So let me throw the first question to you, Tamika. What are some of the factors that you think you see in your field for the increase or this trend upward in suicide deaths?
So when considering the factors that are increasing the rates of suicide within our communities, one of the first things that I consider would be the pandemic, okay? That is heightening everything. So some of the factors that we think about would be criminal activity. There's been increases in that. Folks are just having more legal problems. They don't see an escape from that. Individuals have had instances where they've lost their jobs. So you have income impacting the household. Health is a huge factor right now. Folks are becoming more sick and staying sick longer. Social media even plays a role in this, all right? Our young people have access to social media, in some instances nonstop. So they never get a break from some of the images that they see on a day-to-day basis.
Thank you for that, Tamika. And I can see all of those factors factoring into the rise in suicide. Just a follow-up question, is there a difference between the issues that may drive a child to contemplate suicide versus adults? Or, you know, do motivating factors vary with different age groups?
Sure. In my opinion, the factors are more or less the same. It's how those factors and how those things impact that person. So let me give you an example. Let's say we have a household. We have a grandparent, parents, 2 children. Dad loses his job, okay? Income has gone out of the window. He is the primary breadwinner. So in his mind, I can no longer support my family. I can't keep a roof over our head. I can't keep us in transportation. Food is becoming a problem. Why am I here? Maybe they'd be better off without me. Maybe they can use the insurance. Remember that factor, loss of income. So then we have a grandparent. Well, you know what? Now I'm just another mouth to be fed. I can't contribute to this household. Maybe it would be better if I wasn't here. Then you have a teenager. I can't get the latest Jordans. Everybody's going to know that my dad lost his job. It's going to be all over TikTok. It's going to be on Instagram. It's going to be on Facebook. How am I going to handle that? I can't face these people. I don't want to be here anymore. And then you have a young child. Daddy just lost his job. This is going to make mommy really sad again. And maybe he's going to leave. I don't even know what to do with this. I just wish I wasn't here. So if you see one common factor that impacts everyone differently.
Yeah, and it's these issues are so complex, and so tangled. And because different family members are affected sometimes by the same thing, just kind of revolving around maybe even one issue. What are some signs, and either of you, Jules, Tamika, either of you answer this because you both have experience with this. What are some signs that a family member or a friend or a coworker may be entertaining the idea of suicide? And how should we respond if we notice any of those signs?
Well, one sign would just be isolation, self-isolation. This person is just not as engaged in activities that they normally enjoyed. Maybe they're sleeping excessively. Maybe they're not sleeping enough. The same thing with eating. Maybe they're overeating. Maybe they're not eating enough. And sometimes people will just tell you, I'm thinking about hurting myself, and I have a plan to do it.
Also, I know if someone has been really struggling and really depressed, and then all of a sudden they seem to be better just out of the blue. Sometimes when someone decides to take their life, that can bring a sense of relief, and they can go from really struggling to seeming perfectly fine at once. That's something to watch out for.
Yeah, thanks for that. And I think it's important for people to know. I also think it's important if a person is somewhere like seriously contemplating a specific suicidal act, like what, and this thought comes to them, I'm about to do this. Like, what should they do? What immediate action should they take?
Sure. If you get that feeling that someone is going to hurt themselves, this is an imminent threat, call 911. Call 911 immediately and have the professionals help you. Now, if you get the sense that this is a situation where you may be able to help that person, maybe you have a little bit of time, you can call 988. You can call it or you can text. And if you do that, you're going to reach the Crisis and Suicide Lifeline. And when you do that, you have a couple of options. So number one, you can just call on your own to get some support for that person who's considering harming themselves. Or you can call with them while they're there and solicit some assistance that way. Or you can have that person call.
Another thing is be direct, and if you feel like a loved one is suicidal and may be thinking about taking their life, ask them. Some people think just by bringing it up they're doing harm, but that's not true. Most people that are feeling these self-harm and suicidal thoughts want to talk about it. They want someone to ask them about it.
Yeah, thank you for that. Can you say that number one more time? That they should go.
Sure. It's very simple. It's 988. You can text and reach someone immediately.
Great. Thank you. And Jules, we know that people of faith are not immune to suicidal thoughts, although there's a misconception that they should be. Okay. What would you say to someone who feels that they're not strong in their faith or they question their commitment to God because they are having mild or moderate or severe suicidal thoughts?
Well, first of all, I just want to say you are not alone. We are all human, and we all go through really rough times and may feel like that, feel like taking our lives, feel like harming ourselves. And there can be so much judgment, but we are human. Even in scriptures, the prophet Elijah said, I'm the only one left. God, just take me out. King David, a man after God's own heart, said, God, I just wish that the rocks would fall down and take me. God, where are you? You've forsaken me. So I just want you to know that if you're feeling that way, or if someone you love is feeling that way, this is a normal human emotion. You are not alone.
That's very helpful. And this is the last question for both of you. How can spiritual care and mental health care be compatible in helping to prevent suicide?
Well, first of all, they don't exist separately, okay? These two things are 100% compatible. One thing I'd like to mention is that we have many clinicians who are certified pastoral counselors. So you can seek assistance and get that spiritual base that you need and you want, along with the clinical assistance that you're looking for.
And I would also just add that, we are spiritual beings. I'm not talking about any particular religion or set of beliefs, but that spiritual care means that you have meaning and purpose, that you're connected to love. Know that God loves you, whether you feel it or whether you know it. And getting help for your mental health issues and your spiritual health, just like Tamika said, they go hand in hand.
Well, I agree 100% with both of you. And we're going to be coming back with another episode. We've talked about suicide prevention. We're going to talk about in the next episode, and Jules and Tamika are going to join me in the next episode, about coping with suicide loss. What happens when we've experienced that in our family or with one of our friends. So please be ready for the next episode of Hope for Your Life. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel or click that notification bell so you'll be alerted to the next episode. And we look forward to seeing you and experiencing another episode of Hope for Your Life, where we believe that there's always hope no matter what. Oh, and don't forget, please, in the comment section, submit your topics that you would like for us to talk about, or you can go to our website and you can submit your comments and your topic suggestions there. We'll see you next time.